Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
Yeah, late night, got home about 4:30, so anyway, here we go. I thought that, when you look at the football game overall and you look at the whole experience of it, it was brought up today that a lot of experiences, traveling for the first time really out of state with a lot of young players, going through the whole day at the hotel, delay at the beginning of the game because of the weather, fumbled snaps at the beginning of the game with the punter and having to respond from that. So I thought we got the response that we wanted from our football team. I thought we came to play. I thought we were energized. I thought we had a very workmanlike approach really to the game itself, and was in control of the game until really the midpoint of the fourth quarter. Then again, we had to handle adversity again. Our defense was not on the field almost the entire third quarter. I think it was 27 plays to 4. So then they had to come back in, and we did not play well at that point. So the game got very interesting, but we closed it out, won the football game, and we're 5-1, and made it difficult to run the football. Had explosive plays. I thought LJ played well. There were obviously other players who played well as well. Andre London had a good game as well. So, but we closed it out 5-1, and we look forward to this weekend playing at home in the afternoon. So that'll be nice for everybody. And Indiana's got a good football team and has been very close to winning a number of games here.
Mark, it's Hondo. Could you talk about the play of Kevin Jarvis? Again, continues to get a lot of reps.
Yeah, he is getting a lot of reps, and I thought that, he did some very good things. I think he got out on the edge. But there's a lot of different things that are going on in there. So again, it's a learning process for him. But, when you look at him, he's extremely talented. He's not out of sorts in terms of his athletic ability or his size or his strength there. He just, there's just the experience factor, and he's gaining experience. So this is now I think it's his third game starting. So, he's got valuable experience there, and he'll remain a fixture in that offensive line for many years and for the remainder of this year. So, but I do think that at times we need to take a little bit of stress off of him and just give him a minute just to sort of settle in a little bit and refocus a little bit, because it's tough being out there every single play. He's out there as a true freshman.
Question on while we're on the offensive line, is there any update on David Beadle and AJ Arturi? And also, can you talk about Jordan Reed and getting him in for some reps too?
Yeah, I don't talk about injuries. You guys know that, but they're neither are out for this season. As far as Jordan Reed, played 22 plays. I thought Jordan's very athletic. Again, it's the same type of thing that it is with Kevin, except that he does get a little bit more of a break. He played right tackle and flopped Luke Campbell over to left tackle to give him some relief. Then he was out, so they at least had a 3-man rotation there. But he's a very good football player. Again, true freshman. So we have a redshirt freshman, 2 true freshmen really playing there, and 2 sophomores, and then a senior. Really making up the bulk of who's playing in our offensive line. So, but talented, should be another fixture for the future.
Like John Cox, what he's getting as a jumbo tight end. Does that help John Cox? Is he still getting some work at guard and coming along there? Does his work as a jumbo tight end help him come along in terms of knowing game speed for him at guard? Can he begin to help there at some point?
Yeah, he's in different places on the offensive line as well. But I thought Chase had a big game on Saturday night at tight end, and it gives us a different personnel grouping in there, and he's been good. It's been good for him, and it's been good for this football team.
And Mark, also because of the conditions that was or maybe it was matchup for that game, you kind of went with two multiple wide receiver formations rather than three receiver formations. We saw one wide receiver formation, multiple tight ends. Was that planned like back on Tuesday, Wednesday, anticipating the weather, or was it the opponent, or just kind of the way things fell and you're having success and stuff with it? How did that all go down?
I think it's a combination of all those things that you just said. I do know that we felt like the weather would be like this. I do feel like we all felt like we needed to get our tailbacks going, and we did feel like these were things that we could exploit a little bit because we had not done some of these things. So, or we had not done them as much, I guess is probably a better way to say it. But I think it's all the things that you just mentioned. But the biggest reason I think we wanted to get our tailback going, and the reality of the situation is if things are working, you see more of it. Things were working.
You talked a little bit about the adversity you had to overcome, not playing as well in that fourth quarter that you'd like and how you respond from that. How critical is it for a young team? I know you want to play well every week, but is it almost good that they kind of go through some of these things early so they learn how to respond to those things and you can see kind of how they bounce back from adverse situations?
Well, it's painful at times, but I guess we all learn with some of the things, with some of the mistakes that we make, or we learn with things that happen to us. It's not so much the mistakes, but just things that happen. It's older players and younger players, and again, I feel like our football team is developing a personality. As we move through this, we're halfway through, and I know we're going to play hard. I know we're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to play hard, and we're going to come ready to play. That's the biggest two things that I can ask for of our football team. But when you field the ball on the 5-yard line on a punt, you can't do that. When you're covering a punt and you want to catch the ball in the 15, well, they're trying to catch the ball. You can't do that. And these are two true freshmen that occurred to. And in both cases, it hurt us a little bit. There's some other older players that made some mistakes. I thought we got a little lax there at the end, and we didn't play as well as we had early. And I think their change up in their quarterback, changed the sort of the structure of the game, and we needed to go to a little bit more of a capture mode rather than just trying to take off and sack them at all costs. And I felt like he got out a little bit and extended plays and created, and that led to a couple scores in the fourth quarter, which made it very, very close.
Recognizing them and kind of improving from it and not repeating those mistakes?
Well, yeah, I think so. But hey, we're 5-1, so we're doing something right, and we're playing hard. But football. There's so many different things that can happen to you on the football field, and there's isolated things, and then there's a combination of things. So, as long as we come to play the game and we're prepared mentally to play hard and play with emotion, I usually can handle things, but there are certain things that could have been avoided on Saturday night. Well, that's just the way it is. But that's the way it is every single game that anybody plays, and including all of our games. As well as Madre, that we protected our quarterback, that we caught the ball down the field when we did throw it pretty well. I thought defensively, if you take away the fourth quarter, we probably, we played very, very well. If the score ends up 23-6, you feel really good. But, they scored, then our offense scored and responded. So I thought our response by our offense on a number of occasions, two at least, was very positive because, first of all, they had the punt drop and kicked the field goal, and then after that we went down and scored, and then we put it in. So then they, it's 23-6. They scored, we responded. So those type of things.
Mark, this is Hondo again. Your player is affectionately called Coughlin McLovin, and he's kind of endeared himself as a little brother to these guys. What is it about his personality, away from his success kicking, that has endeared him to his teammates?
I think Matt's a really good person. Got a great personality. He's fun to be around. He's a little bit of a joker. He's a very good athlete. He's just an outstanding soccer player as well. And I just think that just like everything, everybody has a personality off the field. So they like McMuffin, yeah, no question. So, but he's a good guy. He's proven to be a good kicker. And thus far he's 5 out of 7 for the year, and I think the 2 he's missed. He missed this last one here, but give him a hall pass on that one, I guess. He's got the ball up, which that's the main thing with me all the time. Get the ball up and believe you're going to make it.
Safeties were able to kind of make a break, including on the interception. Is that a situation? Is he still staring guys down a little too much at times, or is he not seeing those defenders where they are? What kind of goes into that?
Well, he's started 8 games now, 2 last year, and now 6 this year. And there's this, sort of things that you got to look for, whether it's the route progression, who you're looking at, or the safeties, which way they're rotating, and those type of things. So I think there's a lot of things that a quarterback has to look at. So I'm not too fast to judge some of these. I know the number 8 picked it off, on the particular route earlier in the first, again in the first quarter, I believe. We're going to make mistakes. The biggest thing that I can say about our football team is we don't get rattled when things happen. We didn't get rattled when we had a 30-minute delay. When I walked over to Brian after the pick, he wasn't rattled, and he's going to go back to work, and that's a positive. And people see that and feel that in terms of his leadership.
Earlier, but what did you see in the pass defense there in the fourth quarter? What did you get a little bit loose there?
Yeah, I think that first of all, we got on 3rd and 16, the quarterback scrambles, and it's one of those things where you think you don't want to hit the guy out of bounds, and then he doesn't run out of bounds, and you look like you've not played football for a while. That was a mind blower, I guess. And then we got the back of the flat and don't handle him and fall flat on our face. That's another one. We can't have those things happen. I mean, that's uncharacteristic of the player and what we do. I think that Josiah Scott had a couple plays where he was in a bad situation. Credit their throw and their catch on that one, and then we had the guy doubled on another one. But too many big plays in the last 2 series, where you really look at the first 3.5 quarters of the game, and we're playing very, very well. So, but again, we weren't on the field for probably, I don't know, I think 13:28 or something like that. Our offense had the ball in the 3rd quarter. So when our defense came back in, I'm not sure if they thought the game was over or what, but credit Minnesota with coming up with some plays at the end of the game. Thought our onside, our hands teams did an outstanding job. Cody White making the last one, and Clyde Willis making the one before that.
You talk so much about all these young guys. It's been kind of, I guess, so talked to death. But do you feel like you and the staff this year, maybe more than others, have to kind of use your teaching skills versus maybe your coaching skills at this point?
Yeah, I think all coaches are using their teaching skills. It's not just they stand up there and tell them how to do something, and then just let it go. I mean, we're constantly teaching. I mean, that's what coaching is. Coaching is teaching, whether it's in the blackboard or off the film, or on the football field, or on the field on games, in terms of game day adjustments and things of that nature. And every game changes for our guys, whether it's offense or defense, or the offensive line, for the defensive line, or for our secondary. Every single game, there's a new game plan. There's a new opponent who does different things conceptually. So it becomes a little bit more of a complicated thing. I mean, you do what you do. We do what we do. But within that task, you have to defend or attack what they do. And that's where things become a little bit more complicated. And because it changes. This week, we may be doing something to this formation. The next week is a little bit different. That's the nature of the game. So the more experiences you have changing like that, the more adaptable you can become. And I think young players tend to, just sort of can overwhelm them a little bit. We've tried to keep it squared up for them, and we don't have that many young players playing. We have an assortment of guys playing, but they're not playing all the time. Kevin Jarvis is probably the one that's playing all the time. He and Josiah Scott, I would say, all the time. Other than that, guys are in and out and getting a lot of experience, but they're in and out, and they have that time to refocus.
Pull back, getting to the midpoint of the season now. He looked like he had a pretty dominating block on Tom Sweet to the right on that touchdown run. Maybe one of the better blocks of the season.
Colin Lucas played his best game this last night. I thought he had a dominant block on that touchdown run of LJ's on the right to our bench, to the right of our bench. But I thought he had had a nice game, did a nice job, and he's going to fit up on you. So, our fullbacks in our offense are predominantly guys that are either going to catch it or we're not giving them the ball 15 times a game. So, for that matter, probably not for a year, 15 times a year. But they're guys that got to get on the edge of people and got to control the blocks.
You needed Lucas to have a game. You needed Lucas to have a game. If you guys were scheming to do a lot of 22 personnel and do the things we talked about earlier with more closed formations and so forth, and he was going to be on the field more than any time all year, if I'm not mistaken. So you needed him to have a good game Saturday, didn't you? Exactly.
And you'll have to continue to do those things as we move forward.
Mark, knock on wood because you can't control injuries, but assuming things stay status quo, do you anticipate any true freshmen who haven't played, you'll keep the red shirts on them this year?
I don't anticipate taking the red shirt off of other players. I don't really anticipate that at this point. No, you are correct.
Connor Hayward kind of show you that led you to want to put him on return, and what did you kind of think of what you saw from him?
Well, he's got great running skills. He's calm. He's been in a position of leadership, so I don't think any situation is too big for him because he was a quarterback at a large high school in Georgia and Peachtree City, and then also he started as a ninth grader for their basketball team, which is a very good team. So I knew he'd been in pressure situations before. He's got great hands. Great hand-eye coordination. Has done an outstanding job of catching punts in practice and in kickoffs in practice. And I just felt like, hey, we needed a guy that could do that and had some, running back skills. So he's a big guy, 6'1", 220 pounds, and I think he showed what he could do a little bit, which was a big positive in the game.